For the most part, Diddy's kids had managed to keep a low profile while their father's trial played out, but now, the spotlight on their own pasts has uncovered some shocking and downright chilling revelations.
If you don't mind me saying, tis tales. And she said that she was going through the whole lawsuit. And in the lawsuit, it stated that he was recording a song. And the guy, Little Rob, had it in the recording that the girl was actually fighting him off her, and he was trying to make her drink some tequila, and she said, "What's in it? Is anything in it?" And he was trying to fondle on her or whatever like that during the time. And Lil Rob picked that up at the recording. So what
really stands out here is the timing. As Diddy awaits sentencing on federal charges, 6 of his kids have stepped forward with letters of support for their father, who's already spent over a year locked up. He was convicted on 2 counts of transportation for illegal purposes, leaving Judge Arun Subramanian to decide his fate. While prison is still possible, Diddy dodged a life sentence after being cleared of other serious charges. His lawyers have handed in a hefty stack of letters aiming to show a different side of him, including heartfelt notes from 6 of his 7 children.
Good morning, guys.
Top of the morning, y'all. Stepping, looking Fleeto, stepping. Oh my God! That jacket is, oh my God! That's the most fire jacket ever. Oh my God!
Good morning, guys. It's fun. Oh,
the kids painted Diddy as a caring, reliable figure in their lives, someone who passed down values they still hold close. "My dad isn't perfect," Justin Combs admitted, adding that while mistakes were made, they don't erase the reality of a loving, present father who taught his children to respect women, value, honor, and stand strong in tough times. To them, he's the anchor of the family, the guide they turn to for stability. But Gandil isn't buying it. He believes Justin's words are just a front, suggesting the son might have plenty to gain if his father stays behind bars.
Son, bro, and this is real talk. He's still going to jail. You happy because he didn't get the RICO and the racketeering, so he gets to keep his money. He gets to keep his inheritance. He gets to keep all the that they stole over the years from other people. That's why he happy. Him and Puff wasn't that tight. They used to go at it. People close by would tell that story. Yeah, that's still his father. But you and I both know that extra right out there, come on, man. Outside the court, the judge might give him extra time for this nigga and his antics. Puff not coming home, bro. And you got to realize at 50-something years old, he'll come out to get his Social Security or better. How old is he? Born in 69? We're like 54, 55, something like that. He'll come out and get his Social Security. He had to do 85% of his time. That right there, King Kong or Christian, acting like that in front of the courts in front.
Several letters also recalled how Diddy stepped up for the family after the death of Kim Porter, the children's mother, back in 2018. Quincy Brown wrote that their father, even while struggling himself, made it a priority to be present and supportive through their grief, bringing the siblings closer than ever. Twins Delilah and Jesse, fresh out of high school, echoed those feelings in a joint note, saying their family has faced countless hardships but always stood together, knowing their dad is a loving, devoted man. Christian Combs took a direct plea to the judge, begging for grace, compassion, and his father's release, admitting the situation was driving the entire family crazy. But can letters alone really spring Diddy free? Probably not. Though his lawyers are pushing for a sentence capped at 14 months, almost exactly what he's already served. If the judge agrees, he could walk before year's end. On top of that, TMZ has hinted at whispers that Diddy might already be maneuvering behind the scenes with the government to secure an early way out.
Diddy is upping his offer to the government. He wants out of jail right now. You know that he is still behind bars at Brooklyn MDC while he is awaiting his sentence in October. But right after he was sentenced, they tried to get out on bail. They made an offer. They said, we'd like for him to be released on $1 million bail. The judge shut that down. So now it's like he's playing Let's Make a Deal, right? How about this, Your Honor? What if we offer a $50 million bail package? The money has gone up, but the reason that he thinks he should get out is because he says what he's convicted of were non-violent offenses.
And he's right. He's right that he was convicted on 2 counts of the Mann Act. The Mann Act is hiring a prostitute and taking the prostitute across state lines. It's a non-violent crime. So when you look at what happened, there were allegations that he was violent toward Cassie and Jane, during the prosecution's case.
There was testimony.
But the jury found him not guilty on those counts. And when you look at the Intercontinental video in 2016, he would have been convicted had he been prosecuted in California.
Right.
But he wasn't. And the statute of limitations ran. So his position is, look, you're holding me because you say I have violent propensities, but that's not what I was convicted on.
It's not what he was convicted on, but those violent propensities do exist.
Look, the bottom line is they didn't convict him
You guys
of
are arguing the
violence.
wrong point. The Mann Act, under the bail statute, you can argue what you think the law should be. Here's what the law is. Under the bail statute, it is considered a violent crime. We can say it doesn't include violent. The Mann Act, 18 U.S.C. 2421, prohibits the transportation of individuals across state lines for prostitution and other immoral purposes. This is called a crime of violence when determining whether to detain a defendant on bail.
Right, on bail.
Counsel, wait a second. He just dropped the hold on you. He had the actual.
He's asking for bail.
No, but the judge didn't allow bail for $1 million.
I know.
They were willing to put $1 million up. And by the way, you know as well as I know that and I'm not defending Diddy here. All I'm saying is, no, I'm not. I mean, Diddy should have been convicted in California.
Hold on.
But what I'm saying is, the Mann Act is not a violent crime.
I know what you're saying. I get it.
It's not.
But the judge has to go by the code.
So is this about amount? Is this about amount?
It's not about amount. So
it says on bail. It says on bail.
The violent crime, the defendant, the convicted defendant, has to prove by preponderance of the evidence to convince the judge one of two things: either both, he's not a flight risk. The judge did not weigh not letting him out on him being a flight risk. There's no real evidence he's a flight risk, and that's what the money would go to. Is he willing to leave $50 million behind? He has an ankle monitor.
Right.
He's not really a flight risk.
Surrenders passport too.
Surrenders passport. The other thing that Diddy has to show, the burden is on Diddy, is that he is not likely to commit the same violent act, the Mann Act, again. Diddy, remember, even though he knew he was under federal surveillance, even though he was about to be arrested, was conducting a freak-off.
So what you're saying is they will keep him behind bars pending sentencing because they're afraid he might have a freak-off with a...
That idea is gaining more weight by the day. Even Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, who turns 85 this year, wrote a letter of support acknowledging his serious mistakes but urging the court to see the man she raised. Yet every bail request has been denied, making the October ruling the family's biggest hope for reunion. Critics argue, however, that Diddy's family is the last group who should appeal to a judge's emotions, since several of them carry their own troubling allegations. Take Justin Combs. While Diddy's trial was unfolding, he and his father were named in a new Los Angeles lawsuit. The filing accuses Justin of luring a woman from Louisiana under the guise of a job opportunity, only for her to face mistreatment and pressure over a weekend. The timing couldn't be more striking, as the suit dropped just as Diddy's trial neared its end. That same day, Christian, better known as King Combs, released a new 7-track project called Never Stop, featuring a song titled Diddy Free with production credit to the formerly Kanye West. Too many. It feels like Christian may be following in his father's footsteps for all the wrong reasons.
The mixtape, bro. I heard some of the lyrics is on there. But when do you grow up, man, and be who you really are? Because you ain't no gangster. You don't know what a gangster is. You a prankster. You a prankster, son. Stop that. I think when the people heard the mixtape and they called him out on it, and they was checking him and they was trying to check him, but they lost, bruh. They don't have no guidance. The dude who's supposed to be doing, I don't know if he's security or whatever like that. Man, what the fuck is you doing out here like this? He gets on the ground and start doing push-ups up with him. Bruh, for real? Man, put your shirt on and get your ass back in that damn car. Stop acting like you stupid. Act like you got some sense. That's when they making the dollar make them, bruh. The dollar is making them. What you happy about? You gotta realize they know his daddy's still going to jail. They happy because they feel like the government doesn't have a right to mess with nobody's assets at this time. The verdict on the RICO, non and void. Nothing. Racketeering, nothing. And I guess it was some kind of, what was the other charge? Sex or something like that? Not sex. They got the sex charges, but the RICO, the racketeering, and the kidnapping. The kidnappings, coercion, kidnapping, all this like that. All that was non-void. He went nowhere. It went nowhere. But you still partying? Your dad about to do some time. So he ain't getting life. Maybe he was around there dancing because Diddy ain't get.
Gene Deal also suggested that it was most likely King's reckless behavior that ended up putting Diddy in handcuffs to begin with.
He played a part in that video coming up. You know, him making a comment saying that, you know, they forgot to raid the house next door that his dad owned. Yeah, man, he was wilding out.
Yeah, I think he was just. I don't believe he bought the house next door, because let me just tell you something. If anything or any name that had to do with Bad Boy, the federal government going to run that. They know all the properties Diddy have. They wasn't even talking about the raid that they did in New York, but they did a raid in New York too.
Yeah, I ain't hear about that raid. I only heard about the, you know, the LA and Miami raid. But you feel like the feds, they released that video over King Kong's comments.
Oh man, I've worked in law enforcement for 27 years, and I had the opportunity to see HIDA. It's a place, whereas they have the state, the feds, the NYPD, the Department of Corrections, and the state police. Yo, this place could be half of a basketball court. That's where they just got lines of computers with officers of all different people and officers just on the internet. Whoever's over that case, whoever's working that case, don't you know they saw that and took it to their boss? You might think it's petty, but it's not. You do not agitate a lion with a pork chop. And that's what that kid did, bro.
Some people feel like, you know, Diddy, he played a part in that video coming out too. You know, him being spotted with Stevie J, smiling at the camera. You know, a lot of people blame him too.
But bro, what did I tell you? He's such a narcissist that he has to be in.
For Diddy, legal battles are nothing new. His troubles kicked off in late 2023 when ex-partner Cassandra, Cassie, Ventura filed a lawsuit accusing him of serious misconduct. That case was settled the very next day for $20 million, but it sparked a flood of similar lawsuits soon after. The latest filing claims Justin dangled career opportunities while using personal photos as leverage, even suggesting his actions mirrored Diddy's own long history of alleged behavior. Diddy's lawyers have flatly denied every accusation, while the woman behind the case is demanding damages for emotional distress. Still, the defense team insists the claims are false and blown out of proportion. Adding to the drama, online chatter has even speculated that Diddy himself may be leaking stories about his own kids as a way to shift the spotlight away from him.
Does have a plan to try to derail the information, derail the chain of evidence, derail history as it actually happened. And he is the kind of guy that has no problem with re-victimizing people all over again. Let's just keep it a buck. These girls showed up at a very opportune time, did they not? Adria and Lamisha Fuller. Very opportune time. I do Pierce Morgan. The elites go insane. Ariel Mitchell Kidd drops Adria English as a client after she got drunk and talked with Tasha K, which was bad in itself, if you ask me.
D one that's suing her.
I think that they accusing Diddy mom of stealing anything is wrong. All she did was allow him to put certain things in her name to protect. If at any time, because of some of the things that he was doing and the nature of what he was doing and he knew he was doing to people, if he ever sued, he'd probably be safe having money and things in her name. Do you understand that? See, I don't believe Miss Combs gave that stuff up a long time ago when she used to do her little modeling thing with her little ladies of the night, the little wild parties. When she gave that up, I don't think she was in the business. I don't think she was in the business to know exactly where the money's going, how's coming in, who she taking it from. He was just doing it and putting it and had the authority to put it in her name. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you think she knew what he was doing?
I believe she knew he was doing the freak offs, but do I believe she knew he was allocating different monies to different places and which way it was going, which offshore accounts, which Swiss banks accounts and all that shit was going in? Nah. I think she just was enjoying the fruits of the labor.
But why you believe she knew about the freakos?
Because one of the witnesses said she was there.
And it isn't only Diddy's son making headlines. His mother has surfaced in fresh reports too. A Rolling Stone piece from January claimed that Janice, back in Diddy's childhood home, was known for hosting wild parties and even taking part in so-called freak-offs.
I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know, but they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off, she was ever at that type of party, but you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak off parties. This is the same dude, bruh, that used to disrespect his mother. So I seen the love now that they have for each other only on film and camera. You know, on the YouTube or Instagram or wherever they were showing it and stuff like that. But this the same guy that Kirk Burrows once told me he slapped his mother. And I told everybody, had I known he slapped his mother after I told Kirk Burrows, Kirk told me after I straightened his ass out for cussing his mama out. His mother came in the limousine and he was on the phone and she said, yo, why don't you tell these people like that? And he just cussed her clean out like on some, didn't I tell you to stay out my motherfucking business? And I was like, yo, I was shocked. She didn't say nothing. I said to him, I said, yo, boy, let me tell you something. If you ever cuss your mama again, I'm gonna beat the shit out you. You ain't gonna bring nothing but bad luck to us treating your mama like that.
In fact, Gene Deal went even further, alleging that Diddy and his mother shared a highly inappropriate relationship,